Okay, boys and girls, our learning goal today says, I can explain how weathering and tornadoes are connected. We're also going to look to describe how weathering and tornadoes are alike and how they're different. Let's get started. In order to be able to see how our topics are connected and how they're alike and different, it's super important to be able to describe each topic. So with your partner, before we begin to read about weathering, I want you to talk about how or what exactly weathering is. When you have an answer with your partner, hit play to see if you're right. I hope you said weathering is the process where rock is worn away or really broken down into smaller pieces. I like to think of weathering like a hammer. So if you think of a hammer when you hear the word weathering, that will be very helpful for you. Because a hammer can shatter or break many things with the right force. And rain and wind act like that hammer on Earth's surface, which causes weathering to happen. Rain and wind can physically break up that rock. One example is when wind blows sand against rock. The sand wears the rock away. And once rock has been weakened and broken apart, it can then be ready to be moved. This changes the Earth's surface. And so let's just take a look at some pictures of weathering. I see here in this picture, this rock looks really worn away. And this one has a cool formation. It used to be one big chunk of rock, but now look, it has a cool new design. And right here, this used to also be one huge chunk of rock, but look, now it has a hole in it due to weathering. Next, with your partner, I want you to think about how you can describe what a tornado is and maybe what it does. Then, when you have an answer, hit play to check your work. A tornado acts like a giant vacuum cleaner. It sucks up dirt and those loose materials from the ground. And then these swirl with the wind. Some tornadoes last only seconds. Some last more than an hour. But most last less than 10 minutes. Tornadoes eventually lose energy and die out. But there's always a lot to clean up after a tornado. Let's take a look at some tornado pictures. Oh, this one right here shows me how it's sucking up like a vacuum cleaner, all that dirt and loose material in the ground. And then here are some images of what could happen after a tornado is done. Wow, that's crazy. Tornadoes also change the Earth's surface, as you can see in these pictures. Now, how are tornadoes and weathering connected? Before you begin to read on this slide, and before I read it to you, I want you to think with your partner what you think or how you think these two topics are connected. Hit play when you're ready. Okay, well, tornadoes and weathering are connected because I hope both of you and your partner said they cause the Earth's surface to change. And actually, they're also connected because tornadoes can cause weathering to happen. Because remember, tornadoes are really strong, strong winds that are forming together. And we know that weathering happens because of strong winds. And not only can tornadoes cause weathering to happen, tornadoes can also carry the bits and pieces of rock that weathering broke off. So there's that connection. They kind of go together. Weathering breaks off that rock, and tornado can cause the weathering, but tornadoes can also move the rock that was broken off from weathering. Let's go to our next slide. How are tornadoes and weathering alike? That means what similarities do they have? And I hope by now when you are listening to this video and you are having conversations with your partner, you kind of can realize that tornadoes and weathering are alike because they both change the surface of the earth. That's exactly right. I hope that's what you said. But how do you think they're different? Pause the video and talk with your friend about what differences you think these two have. When you have an answer, hit play. Now, how are tornadoes and weathering different? I hope you said they're different because tornadoes can cause huge damage to the earth and to people. People can get hurt and their property can be destroyed, as you can see in this picture right here. But unlike tornadoes, weathering doesn't cause huge damages to people and their things. Really, as you can see in this picture, weathering just wears away bits and pieces of rock over long periods of time. Tell your partner which of these you think is a fast change and which of these you think is a slow change. When you have an answer, hit play. Okay, let's check your work. Tornadoes, what did you and your partner say? Fast or slow change? I hope you said fast. That's correct. And weathering takes a long time to happen, especially to get this formation right here. So weathering is a slow change. That's another way that they're different. I hope you had fun learning about tornadoes and weathering and seeing how they're connected and how they're alike and different.